A Minotaur miniature. A mini-tar, if you would. Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, and that you are having a great day. And in today's video, I'd like to sit back in my squeaky chair, relax, and have a little conversation with all of you guys about viewer questions. Yeah, in the last few weeks, really, it seems more and more people out there are curious about my opinion on a specific subject, and they've been asking something along the lines of, Uncle Frank, what do you think about One Piece? And, that is a question. I have been a fan of One Piece since basically the beginning, the 4 Kids dub. I like it, but it's mostly sunk cost fallacy at this point because it's not the greatest story. The characters aren't exactly the greatest. The designs are nice, unique, memorable. The action sequences throughout the manga story are pretty great, but it really does feel like it's outstayed its welcome with so much padding and so much fluff. And it feels like a lot of the story, especially the backstory, just really feels like it's dragging on, especially when we have things like backstories within backstories that just go on. And I know, I'm just messing with you. I know you guys are actually curious about the trading card game. And with good reason. It is the new hot topic card game, new shiny thing on the block that all the investor bros are jumping over to now that Pokemon is dead and gone and buried and never going to make a recovery. So now One Piece is the TCG of the minute with nothing but positive returns in sight. Prices will only ever go up. Things are looking good. And all the other things that these people like to tell themselves in the short term when they're jumping to the new shininess. And before I continue any further in this video, I want to make one thing very clear. I do not have anything against Bandai Namco. In fact, I'm quite fond of a lot of the products that they put out. I do not have anything against One Piece. As I said, I am sort of a fan of the series. I do keep up with it to this day. And yes, I do buy and sell it when I have the opportunity. I am, again, what I've said before, I'm what you would call an opportunistic buyer. If the price seems good, I try to grab it. If not, oh well. With all of that said, I can say from experience with Bandai Namco TCGs, loud car zipping through, truck maybe, doesn't matter. I can say from experience dealing with Bandai Namco TCGs in the past that getting caught up in FOMO and hype and dreams of infinite value appreciation in a Bandai Namco TCG is a recipe for disaster and is something that I've learned twice over when it comes to Bandai Namco TCGs. I don't remember what it was with Dragon Ball Super's TCG that burned me so bad, but let me say from experience that it does not take many sets, many bad releases, for the average store and the average investor to be belly up in the water, so to speak. And Bandai Namco has a long history, of putting out a new card game that has a lot of hype behind it, a lot of talk about it, online and in person, etc. It's a good card game. The fundamentals are good, the core gameplay is good, and there's a lot of people who want to get in as fast as possible. But the print waves are low. The first few sets are very low printing. And they do this every time, where the first few sets are bad in terms of print availability, not bad in terms of gameplay, bad in terms of what's out there and available to the average consumer. And at some point, the hype happens and people buy in. And now there's none available for anyone. And box prices skyrocket. And the secondary market sees a wonderful boom. And then Bandai Namco catches up to demand. And suddenly, one set underperforms, one set isn't that great, one set is downright bad for the game and has no valuable cards. And then all of a sudden, all that secondary market intrigue, all that secondary market hype, the fervor, the uh, dollar signs in the eyes people were seeing online, it all evaporates into nothingness. And all the diehard fans that had just popped up overnight are gone. And I've seen this several times now with other Bandai Namco TCGs, and I don't want to say that this will happen to One Piece. That's not what I'm saying. I do not believe. I'll go as far as to say that I don't think One Piece will experience several bad sets in a row, as well as overprinting of those sets, leading to massive financial ruin for anyone who's extended themselves into One Piece. But I will say, based on past experiences, that I personally do not feel confident putting any eggs in the One Piece basket, just because the risk for I shouldn't even call it risk. I'll call it fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not going to let fool me thrice happen. You know, it's not that I think One Piece is a bad card game. It is a solid card game. When I've played it, it was fine. It is mostly a fan service card game insofar as I'm concerned. If you're a fan of One Piece, you'll like the card game. If you're a fan of the card game, you probably like One Piece. And that's how most of the Bandai Namco TCGs go. Only Digimon, I think, is really solid without Digimon the IP, because the gameplay there is just so good. Have I mentioned the Digimon card game is great? Play that, it's fun. But no, I am going to say that there was a time when the Digimon card game was the hot ticket item from the Bandai Namco lineup. And you couldn't get a hold of boxes. And every store, every investor, every collector, every super die-hard fan of Digimon, who's always been a real fan, even though they don't know what Agumon Digivol's into, they were scrambling to get boxes. You were hearing posts about the scalpers. You were hearing posts about the fake collectors. You were hearing posts about stores overcharging, etc. All the stuff you see in Pokemon 6 months ago and One Piece now, yeah, it was prevalent for Digimon. And then all of a sudden, a handful of sets were overproduced and undervalued by the community at whole. And then suddenly, all the Digimon hype, poof, vanished. The one that I remember most that I actually really went into was Classic Collection, which was famously bad. It was basically their Fallen Empires. To be clear, I did not super invest into it, but I did buy a few boxes. Some to hold on to, some to crack. I ended up just cracking all of them because I'm an impatient man. And yeah, that set did absolutely awful. If you were around back then, you'll remember Classic Collection did bad. And then there was a similar, I don't remember the name of the set, but there was a similar set for the Dragon Ball Super card game that just did awful once the game had gotten a bit of hype and traction. I'm racking my brain right now to remember the name of it, but I remember it was awful. And that if you spent full money on a box, you were basically losing 99% of your money. I don't think One Piece is going to pull a Yu-Gi-Oh! Where boxes are going to be losing 75% of their value overnight after release anytime in the near future. I do think, I hope Bandai has learned their lesson and that they won't overprint a weak set and give any collectors, investors, whatever have you, incentive to leave the game for the next shiny new thing, right? And I never want to wish bad on any project. Like I've said before, I enjoy diversity in the TCG world because I believe that is best for the market in general. Competition is awesome. But I will just say that Bandai Namco has a history of this kind of activity where things get super hyped up, people fight over it, people scramble for it, people will pay ludicrously high prices for it just because that promise of a good flip, endless appreciation, number line go up, whatever have you. And then all of a sudden, over a very short period of time, it all goes away. And all that hype and interest evaporates. And people get stuck holding bags, and people suddenly shift from this is the greatest card game ever to this is the worst card game ever. Windy. So what I'm really trying to say here is go ahead. Invest in One Piece if you are someone who genuinely believes in One Piece. Just be careful. And if I were someone who was into One Piece as a card game, I would maybe not, like I said before, I wouldn't be putting all my eggs in one basket. I would buy One Piece as it comes to me, if I can get what I think is a good deal on it, what I think would be profitable to purchase it at. And I would never, let's just say that I wouldn't take out like $10,000 in credit to buy One Piece boxes. That's a good takeaway. Don't go into debt to buy One Piece. That would be a terrible idea, in my opinion. In my opinion. I need to stress this at the start of every video. Everything I say here is just my opinion because I'm an idiot sometimes. You know, and I do hope that I'm wrong about this, by the way. I want to stress that as well. I do hope that at no point One Piece fails and that 6 months from now, 10 months from now, 3 years from now, you guys look back. I hope that I get comments on this video 3 years from now saying, Uncle Frank, you were absolutely stupid wrong. One Piece has only gone up in 3 years. And if you had just bought, how much is Romance Dawn Blue Bottom right now? $5,000? If you had just bought a box at $5,000, you'd be a gazillionaire. I do genuinely hope that for the people out there. I do hope that the people who put their money where their mouth is, so to speak, I hope things work out for them. I'm just really cautious when it comes to Bandai Namco TCGs. And again, not without good reason, because again, there is a history of, I don't want to call it rug pulling, but just mismanagement. Mismanagement is the right word. So that's all I got. Those are my honest opinions and thoughts on the One Piece trading card game. I do think it's a fun game. I do think it has a lot of genuine collectability behind it, and I do think that if you're a fan of One Piece, you should try the card game out. But I also think that if you're the kind of person who, like me, values investing in such in cardboard collectibles, you should just be a bit careful with it, okay? That's all. This is not a doom and gloom video. This isn't me just saying don't overextend and risk hurting yourself. That's it. All right. So that's all I got. I hope I got my point across well there. I hope you guys understand. Like I said, this is not a negative video. This is a positive video with just a bit of caution behind it. So please like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below, especially if you're one of those people coming back to this video 3 years from now to let me know how dumb I am and how caution should have been thrown to the wind and I should have bought a $5,000 booster box. Yeah, crazy stuff. Discord's open for anyone. Patreon's open if you want to throw $1 at me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.